Since 2019, is that right? Yeah.
And I think we can do better than that. Once we've got yields coming back, then that figure will reduce again. But a lot of that is reducing granular. We can use a massive tractor, the plough the ground before we did it. With this being in transition, we just sort of separate little slots. We use carbon rather than different, which is we've got so much stone.
Where the phosphate is too high, too low. Do you think have we got the science, the technology now to do that better?
Historically, I'm sure you've seen the indices system as well.
And one of the things we're doing with our future farming is downforce technology, so looking at carbon, and that's really interesting because you've got access to the digital mapping, which shows where it's leaking carbon, and there's usually a story behind it.
And that's the really telling thing. So you can see in the wet, you see it accumulating carbon hand over fist. So it's a cycle and it's a balance. So that it's not going to be all good all the time.
So do you see it leaching out effectively with the soil?
It goes up in the air. So that the more you move the soil, downforce just shows you carbon.
Just being released.
And what we're also seeing is that climatic impact is significant. So with downforce, we're able to go back to 2017 with the data, so we can see we can sort of almost track.
Volunteered.
Well
But it's
volunteered.
been fantastic to sort of trial all of these different methods to see how we can reduce carbon and increase soil health.
But also from I'm also interested in this from a farmer point of view, how do we cut out all the sort of the worry, the anxiety, the trial and error that you had to go through to get where you are? Because clearly you're one of those farmers who embraces the challenge and goes, okay, fine, but we know a lot of farmers find it very difficult to do that.
A lot of people are asking that, and we've had various landlords. It's the handholding bit that we do very well. And being able to give the other tenants some degree of confidence that the landlord is on side. It's not the old-fashioned, they're over there.
But that safety net is really important for people to say.
Because there isn't much left in farming, and resilience is one of the key benefits of regen farming. And so with that sort of, we've spent our reserves, we're back to the wall for a lot of us. And so from that point of view, if we're going to carry on, we've got to have the landlord on side, but we've got to have a system that works.
And Phil, what do you as a farmer? Because obviously with climate change and different, it's happening so fast, and what's really the data are so different, big changes in the method of work. Plus also this shift away from chemicals into the regen farming. Have you ever known the sense of being such a changing environment and keep up? Is that not, that's the thing I think for a lot of farmers, it must be just swimming in their minds about so many things they're looking at.
Exactly right. And I think having meetings and workshops, is this handholding? So all of us in the industry come up with bits and pieces and we'll go to different meetings, but actually getting together is key.
So we can get inside. You're not going to get into it first.
So basically the idea of this is that you can cover large areas quickly and ultimately we will put on different with it together. But it's a very simple price, big travel quickly with it, minimum soil disturbance. Because it's green, I reckon it's about half the price. There's a lot of trims in the because they were gravitational.
How much field is this?
We're putting on about 200 kilos a hectare, and that will hold about maybe 1,500 kilos of water. We don't tend to on the bank. It's having a big hopper and a wide draw just means we could easily do 50 acres after tea without worrying about it too much.
Market moving more towards that regen farming.
Definitely. I'll show you some sort of briefly. And then I'll get the dog.
There's all sorts of types of
So the more you move the soil, downforce just shows you carbon.
just being released.
And what we're also seeing is that climatic impact is significant. So
volunteered.
Well
But it's
volunteered.
been fantastic to sort of trial all of these different methods to see how we can reduce carbon and increase soil health.
But also from I'm also interested in this from a farmer point of view. How do we cut out all the sort of the worry, the anxiety, the trial and error that you had to go through to get where you are? Because clearly you're one of those farmers who embraces the challenge and goes, okay, fine. Look, we know a lot of farmers find it very difficult to do that.
A lot of people are asking that, and we've had various and have various landlords. It's the handholding bit that we worry about. And being able to give the other tenants some degree of confidence that the landlord is on side. It's not the old-fashioned, you know, they're over there, they're over there.
But that safety net is really important for what it's saying.
Because, you know, there isn't much left in farming, and resilience is one of the key benefits of regen farming. And so, with that sort of, we've spent our reserves, we're back to the wall for a lot of us. And so from that point of view, if we're going to carry on, we've got to have the landlord on side, but we've got to have a system that works.
And Phil, what do we do as a farmer? Because obviously with climate change and different, you know, I mean, it's happening so fast and obviously the basis of some different big changes in the methods of work. Plus also this shift away from chemicals into more regen farming. Have you ever known the sector being such a changing environment? How do you keep up with that? Is that not, that's the thing I think for a lot of farmers, it must be just swimming in their minds about so many things they don't think
That's
about.
exactly right. And I think having meetings and workshops, is this handholding? So all of us in the industry come up with bits and pieces and we'll go to different meetings, but actually getting together is key. And then
Phil, we can go inside. You're not getting in as well, Phil.
RFYM back on the land and also getting some more organic matter. And so Dad wasn't keen to start with because being a seed grower, he thinks that everything is going to contaminate his seed crops. So, and then they've just realised that they actually work quite well together. So, yeah.
Of all these years.
Yeah.
What
So,
a great team you
I
have.
know.
So our first thing was the Johnson Sues, which this is like quite a rudimentary agricultural version. But basically, they have to aerate it, just compost by itself. And then once you've got this after sort of a year and a half, we can make a tea out of it. So we basically put this into big tea bags and bubble it up through water. And then the idea is that, yeah, I mean, if you made a tea out of that and looked at the amount of microbes and fungi in that, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, so the idea is that you'll put that in with the drill. I want to like drip it.
Sounds like a sushi.
It's, you know, kombucha and kefir.
Yes.
So this is bokashi, which is a Japanese method of composting and fermentation. So it's kind of thin. Yeah. So
It smells a little bit like cider, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, in fact, the method of making it is similar, but not using it on the farm. So what happens is that this is we make it with brine, molasses, and effectively and then we dry it, we ferment it in these batches, and then individuals compost their kitchen waste with it.
Right.
So it pickles it.
It's on like a deep litter cattle shed. Once you add it, it becomes anaerobic, like underneath the surface, and so then you can compost your muck, and it becomes way better by the time you put it out on the field. It's well on its way, rather than leaving it in the field where it can get washed in the ocean and stuff gets washed away. Most of the job of it is
So we hear your yields go up, we hear your carbon reductions going, down as well. So it's things like that is quite important.
it's also
Is the science there to monitor that?
yeah, there's also the efficiency of it. When we're adding ammonia, it probably gets washed off anyway. So I think
But you're so right about measuring it, because worldwide capacity is being used for sneezing on and then use it during the body. So even throughout the world it's being used, but our key thing with drone support and regenerative is that we can measure the benefits by testing the source on a ongoing basis, so we know we're not wasting any resource.
Next job to focus on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trial.
That's really interesting and wonderful.
Yeah.
But there must be so much we can learn around the world about different farming practices over the centuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which massively helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels quite so scary when you can see someone else is
Yeah.
doing it. But
So this is my bit. So this is explaining it from a domestic sort of situation. So this is just my
have breakfast.
like leaves.
Look at that.
So it's basically you add your waste and
Yep.
you can deal with gluts of waste. So even with Christmas dinner, you can put it all in and just add a little bit of your bokashi bran. And this one's now fermenting whilst that bucket fills. So it's a continuous process.
And how long is the fermentation for?
It, if you get in there and sniff it, it's a bit like cider, pickly feel.
Okay.
Next you're drinking a chutney out of it.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. But like Monty said, you don't need too much of it to make a real difference.
Yeah.
And we're selling these all over the place in the UK, but in Japan, New Zealand, Sweden.
Sustainability very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can use it with worms. So, so this is my wormery.
A wormery.
Yes.
Is that a technical term, a wormery?
Yes.
Never heard of a wormery before.
anyone that comes on the farm is forced
Yeah.
to look
I know.
Look
I
at the
show
worms.
everyone my worms.
Brilliant, quite right.
So they're underneath. So they.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Look at that. That's amazing.
I know. So every single bit of flap that you can see,
Yeah.
the worms have made. So all I put in here is kitchen waste, basically.
Yeah.
And so they just go mad to eat it. So I've actually got this one in my kitchen, which is slightly unbelievable to fill. But oh right, yeah, okay,
Let's have to see the worms.
yeah. So they like bokashi, and
Look at that. That's fantastic. And how many did you put in? I mean, how many of these have been?
Well, I started off with 250 grams,
Yeah.
but I started this one on the 4th of December, and so now there's so many more than 250 grams. But these like regular waste, so they're useless at a glut.
Right.
So Christmas dinner couldn't go in, but weekly waste they'll deal with probably normal family of 4.
Really?
And they can
And
do
they'll
it.
break all this down then?
Yeah.
They eat about their own weight in waste a day,
Wow.
give or take.
They're amazing, aren't they, all worms?
It's amazing. And then you have a tray, so they don't know those holes, so they just come up through the holes when you fill it, and that leaves the compost underneath.
And then what will you do with that when it's finished?
So this will be completely finished compost once I've reached the top of this top tray. So it'll be really rich worm casts. So that will be like when you're potting out or going around the tops of plants, so very, very rich. So,
So
and
it
then
becomes
the
sort of a-grade
top,
fertiliser.
yeah. I mean black gold.
How do we do that on a field scale?
Well, the idea of our composting project is that once we've used the bokashi to deal with kitchen waste.
Okay. So we have Charlie, with that you stage, Owen Whittle, Lewis Farm. So, how deep is this?
Brilliant. It's going a bit right.
Let's start. So this is our project area, stretching across 3,500 acres. Put it in context for you, we have the Dutchy estate in the south, we have the Moccas estate to the north, and in between we have several owned farms as well. So it's a really great partnership. It's really, great partnership where lots of farms are working together.
Where are we? Good. So where are we? What are the colours?
So these are all the different farms within the project area. So we have 16 farms in total.
Yes, 16 different farms, 24 sort of landowner managers across the project area, so good collaboration.
It's the first time we've brought everyone together to work.
Has it been? Has been the collaboration,
It's nice,
the vision.
nice to meet your neighbours.
Well, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But many of you must probably work and share lots of thoughts and ideas as you've been going on.
Yeah, we've all, I think farming's heading down this environmental direction anyway, so this is obviously a bigger scale of looking at it and see if we can all join together and have one common good for the whole of the area, and it would be good from the two estates point of view as well, really. We've got some great jewels in the crown within the area, so see how we get on.
Are there big sort of sacrifices, compromises that you've had to make to think about doing this?
Not really.
Not yet. We're still in still in the development phase, really. So it's more chatting and working out plans and where we want to head. But it's all positive, and everyone's has a very good outlook and agrees the way agriculture is and can be crisscrossed in the media is good, and there is also some bad, but that's with everything. And with the ridge, we've got runs all the way along. It acts as the Dutchy land unit together, and then the wide through the bottom. We've got a really lovely landscape, which is beautiful, and I think has a lot of potential.
And that's going to be fundamental to making it happen.
And then what's interested you to be part of this? Where are you on that? Sorry, where's your
So we are sort of here and here in Moccas. I mean it's all. I'm keen to look after our soils. That's fundamental for a lot of farmers now. We need to look after our soils, and dare I say, all the
unique thing to have more than one estate working with each other, certainly in Herefordshire, that's quite unusual, so that from that point of view, that's a new experience, inviting these monsters into our world.
the regen examples and carbon sequestration is pretty game-changing stuff if you can pull this off. It's fantastic example of what we've done.
A good landscape and actually maintain it, if really awareness
environmental benefits I have to offer to my ability, along with the duchy, and actually keep that view. And I'm very passionate about it. I love where I live. I like Herefordshire. I think it's great. And there's a lot going. And I'll obviously with these walks going in, we can show more people around it and show off what we have to offer with the woodlands and all the
I
parklands.
also feel as if it's quite good bringing all of you together from a sort of mental health point of view. Generally, just farming is quite isolating at times, quite lonely, and actually you're up against so many challenges currently with weather and everything else going on. Does this feel like a really unique moment where actually you can pull your collective experience and your knowledge and actually feel a bit more like there's a team involved in terms of what you're going to do here? I mean, this is big stuff, and I think being exemplars for the next generation of farming and proving that it can be done, because there's a lot of farmers who, understandably, for lots of reasons, feel I'm going to keep doing what I've always done because that's what I know, and it must be a big step into the unknown for a lot of them. Whereas you guys can prove that the concept's not that scary. And working together works.
20 years ago, if you said you were, or maybe 30 years ago, if you said you were doing an environmental scheme or whatever, you would be laughed over the phone. So
Is that because food production was more?
you